Should you use motion control shoes to prevent pronation and injury as a runner? Hey guys, it's JP, and this is a question I have gotten from some runners and coaches, so I'd figure I'd elaborate a little more on it and make a video on it. Also, I know you guys have been asking for more shoe-related content, so I'll start getting into more of that. Anyway, for those who don't know, foot pronation seems to get a pretty bad reputation in the running community. There are plenty of people that tend to associate pronation with injury risk. Therefore, they justify getting motion control shoes to prevent that movement, which would result in preventing injury. Now, while this reasoning can initially seem pretty logical, is it actually true? The short answer is no. There are a few incorrect assumptions that arise from that kind of statement, so I'll talk about what they are and why it may not be true. First, that statement may depict pronation as a bad thing, but actually, pronation is a natural movement of the foot. This kind of movement may help the foot absorb and distribute forces as weight is placed on it as you run. Now, another thing is the thought that pronation itself causes injury. Based on some research from Nielsen and colleagues, they looked at the relationship of pronation and running injuries. It has shown that there is no conclusive evidence to say that pronation alone may be responsible for running-related injuries. How this can be interpreted is that while overpronation could possibly play a role in biomechanical loading involving injury, where the forces would exceed the capacity of the structure to withstand those forces, there are just much bigger pieces of the puzzle that may contribute to causing an injury, such as structural integrity, like when there was a previous injury in the area, and things like the intensity and frequency of your running. Another is the thought of getting motion control shoes because you have flat feet. This also might not initially make sense why I'm challenging this in the first place, as the reasoning behind that statement could be rational, since if you have flat feet, your foot may end up overpronating and that may lead to injury. I want to challenge that thought that flat feet correlates with overpronation a little more. Based on some research from Langley and colleagues looking at static foot posture, which is basically when you are looking at the foot when it is not moving, versus how the foot actually moves during running. This has shown that whether or not you have a high arch, regular arch, or a flat foot, this does not determine how much pronation actually occurs as you run. You can basically have flat feet and not have much pronation going on. Or you can have a high arch and actually have tons of it going on. This may also help explain another research paper, which was a large meta-analysis looking at around 7,000 people that looked at the relationship of selecting a shoe type, which included motion control, stability, and cushion shoes, based on the person's arch height. This study also concluded that choosing a shoe type based on the arch height may not decrease risk of running-related injuries. Now, are motion control shoes totally useless? Not necessarily. The stiffness in the shoe may help decrease pain when running if someone has increased irritability with movement within the foot. If this is the case, the shoe may end up feeling more comfortable when you run compared to other shoes, which is actually something I factor in when trying to pick the best shoe for you. Instead of getting too focused on foot posture, try to find what's most comfortable for you to run in. Nowadays, you can try out a shoe for a trial period and take it out for a test run. Based on some research from Moore and colleagues, finding what's comfortable may actually help with training and performance for most runners. And that's it for this video. I hope you guys found this useful. Let me know if you'd like more shoe-related content for runners. And as always, thank you for watching.